Hey beautiful people, it's Ricky and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to teach you guys how you can get more accounts deleted from your credit report. So if you guys are sending dispute letters and you're working to, delete way more accounts from your credit reports, you have to understand this thing now. And if you don't do this, it's going to make it harder for you to delete accounts from your credit reports. So a lot of people that you probably are already a part of my membership, or say if you just get some of these dispute letters, or if you come down here and you click here and fill out this form that's here, you'll automatically get some free dispute letters to remove some of them accounts from your credit reports, right? Now, a lot of people just start sending in these letters, and that's really not the way that you should go about it. The first thing that you guys need to do is you have to make sure that you have your correct documentation together when you're sending letters to the credit bureaus. So I always tell people, if you have negative accounts listed on your credit reports and they're negative and they're using the address that you're at now. So let me give you an example. If you stay at 123 Main Street and you got that Discover credit card, and now you're trying to delete that Discover credit card from your credit reports, but you still had that 123 Main Street on your address, you really need to get a new address added to your credit reports and delete that 123 Main Street address from your credit reports. Now, to do that, the credit bureaus, you can usually just call them, all three of them, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Call them and have them add that address onto your credit reports, or you can get that address added to one of these forms of verification I'm going to show you, send in to them, and then they'll update that address, and then you have to call them, probably not on that same call. Say if they were to delete the addresses on that, add the address on that first call, do not try to have them delete address on that call too. You hang up and call back again, okay? Sorry. So let me show you the different things that I'm gonna need you guys to do. So you have to make sure that you have a valid driver license, so you can add your address onto that driver's license, or make sure that you could send in a copy of your social security card. And you have two forms that you have to do. So you have to pick which one you want to do. So you have to validate your identity, plus you have to validate your address. So you can, for your identity, you can make sure the address is on your ID. That could be good. But your social security card, this is going to really be your identity. And then also on your pay stubs, that can be a way to validate your identity. Also, your W-2 forms, or like your 1099 forms, your court documents that have your legal name change. That's if you're updating your name. You can also use your birth certificate as your proof of your identity, also your passport, your marriage certificate as your proof of identity, your divorce decree, also you can use that, your state ID, or also your military ID. All of these you can use as your proof of your identity, that you are who you say that you are. Now, that's what you have to do. You have to verify your identity. So that's the first part. And then you also have to verify your address. So I always tell people, you can do your driver's license and your social security card. You can knock out two things with that. But sometimes you can't add your address onto your driver's license because you really don't want to add that address. You just want it to be on your credit reports. So in that case, you can send them your social security card, maybe like a W-2 form, but then if we have the W-2 form, needs your address. So maybe if you don't have your address on anything, then maybe you can do your social security card, or do your birth certificate, or your passport. And those are probably going to be the best things that you can do. Now, after you have your identity, pick one of those, social security card, birth certificate, or passport. We have to validate that address. So with that address, if you want to add that address onto your driver's license, you can, but you also can put that address on a utility bill, but that's going to be hard. Especially if you're just using a cousin address. But you can add that address onto your cell phone bill. You can do that. That should be easy. Also, your pay stub, W-2 form, 1099 form, those are going to be hard. Your lease agreement, that's going to be hard. Your mortgage statement, that's going to be hard. A bank statement. I always tell people, you can add your address onto your bank statement. That's probably going to be the easiest one that you can do. And when you add that address onto there, they have to accept it. So just call a bank, or you can do it online, get that address updated. And then if they put it on your banking statement right away, then that's good. Or you can just wait on your next bank statement, and then you can use that. and also your state ID. So that's something that you guys have to do. You have to have one of these. And when you guys are trying to send this information into the credit bureaus, you have to make sure that you're not just taking a picture of the envelope. You have to like open up the document so that they can see the document. But the thing I always tell people, if you don't have your address on anything, just use your bank statement and then use like your social security card, your birth certificate, or your passport as your proof of identity, because that would be so simple and easy. But you got to think about if you're married and you know your marriage name is not on there, it's going to be harder for you. So definitely keep that in mind. Those are the different documentation that you have to use. Now, if you guys are not doing this, honestly, I don't care what dispute letters you send in, it's going to be hard to get these accounts removed. A lot of times you have to make sure that you have this stuff updated, all those different addresses deleted, because those accounts that you have in your credit reports. So say if you were like trying to remove, like these are like some student loan letters. Say if you're trying to remove some of your student loans from your credit reports, you need to make sure that you have an updated address, and then whatever that address was that you when you apply for your student loans, you may have to make sure you have that address deleted. If you do not, then it's going to be hard to get that account deleted. And you have to make sure you have these different forms of verification. Now, with your first dispute letter that you send out, you can send in these different forms of verification just to verify who you are. But a lot of times, if you already have like that address, say if you're going to put 249 Main Street on there instead of 123 Main Street, when they finally add the 249 Main Street on there, once you put that on your dispute letter with like your correct name, that 249 Main Street, correct date of birth, social security number, then you should not have a problem with them processing your dispute. But if you are having process with them processing your dispute, saying that they can't verify you, think about one of these different things, two of these different things you want to send in so that they can verify you. The same thing too when it come down to bankruptcy. You have to make sure that you're sending in the verification that you need, or they're not going to process your bankruptcy disputes. Now, usually when it come down to like the say if you guys are sending in collect letters to the collection company, they're not going to a lot of times ask for proof of identity, you know. But still, I don't like to send a proof of identity, because usually when you send a dispute letter to them, they already answering you as long as you have the information correct. But when you talk to the credit bureaus, please look at these documentation, screenshot it right now, whatever you have to do, because this is what you're going to need to send in to them. If you try to send in anything other than this, they're not going to use it. A lot of times it's going to be hard for them to update that information. Now, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Don't forget, you guys can always go to my website, Rickita.com, and schedule a call with me or somebody on my team, and we can help you through this process. If you're a current client and we sent you this video, please listen to this, because I've seen a lot of people get a lot of accounts deleted by listening to this. And then some people, we're going through the process now to remove accounts, because they finally going through this and send us the correct information, and we have to redo the whole process. So do this right the first time, and you're going to see a lot of great results. I'll see you guys in the next video.